Hello everyone and welcome to UMSL Summer Web Series presented by New Student Programs. We hope that by watching the webinar today you will learn a lot of new and helpful information that will help your journey here at UMSL. During the webinar you will be able to speak to some professionals that work here for student services, and you will also be able to ask any questions that you have to current students here at UMSL. Before we get started, I would like to test a few things. So if you can hear me, just confirm in the chat room, hey, I can hear you. Excellent. Okay, second thing, make sure you look at your raised hand button, that function works for you. Again, we are checking for the raised hand function. Excellent. And then the very last thing, I see that everyone's chat is working. Excellent, so now we'll go ahead and get started with today's webinar, which is Get a Student Life, presented by the Office of Student Life. So with that, I will hand it over to Jessica and her staff. And switch it up just a little bit here. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad you could join us today. I want to start by letting our wonderful panel of students introduce themselves so you know a little bit more about who you're speaking with, and then we'll get started giving you an overview of how to get involved here on campus. My name is Jessica Long-Pease. I'm the director in the Office of Student Life, and I have been at the University of Missouri-St. Louis for 8 years now, and love it. So hopefully our students will communicate the exact same thing.
I'm Cameron Roark. I am a senior here studying criminology.
I'm Deontay Coleman. I'm a senior here and I'm studying education.
I'm Lena Ezel. I am a senior and I am studying psychology.
I'm Kristen Weiniger. I'm a senior and I'm studying communications.
I'm Asia. I'm a senior and I'm studying education.
Fantastic. So as you can see, we have lots of folks around the table that have been involved through a number of years here at the university, so they can talk a little bit later about how they got involved here on campus and why they chose the different areas that they did. But I do want to give you an idea of what we do here in Student Life, and so we talked about getting a student life and why that's so important here on campus. We'll go through a couple slides that talk about what we do, the programs and services that we offer, and then we'll get into a little bit more detail about individual experiences. So the Office of Student Life provides programs and services on campus that are designed to enhance UMSL's academic mission. We want to make sure that what you're doing in student organization involvement, in your campus employment opportunities, in your volunteer services are providing you hands-on experience in skill sets that are going to complement whatever major you may have here at the university. You'll see that we've talked a little bit about some of the things that you can get experience with: campus event planning, student organization management. We do have volunteer programs that are both long-term and short-term, and Kristen's been involved for a number of years in those, so we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like. We also have students on campus that advocate for change, whether that's personal change that they want to see in their communities or general change for the entire student body. And it also helps you prepare for leadership roles. So we have opportunities in our office for you to learn more about yourself as an individual leader, and also what leadership looks like in a student organization setting, which can hopefully transition to what leadership will look like when you move into your career field. So while student organizations are definitely a part of what we do, it's not the only thing that we do in student life, and we definitely hope that you'll take different opportunities while you're here on campus to explore options that you have. What we do is actually fairly comprehensive in the Office of Student Life, and I'm going to take a little bit of time to go through some of our programs and services. We have a number of functional areas. We like to say 4, but some of those are combined, so it's probably a little bit more lengthy. And I'm going to start with leadership and training programs. This is one of the excellent opportunities for students who are interested in personal growth and development or growth in an organization area to get involved. Our Emerging Leaders program is something for new students to definitely consider, and that program doesn't take place until the spring semester. So you have about 6 months to get your feet wet here at the university, learn a little bit more about what classes are going to look like for you, what studying habits you'll need to get in place, and then you can participate in the program. Emerging Leaders is a semester-long commitment. It happens in the spring semester, as I said. You're paired with an upper class mentor. Both Kristen and Cameron have served in those mentor positions for us before. Typically, we try to pair you with someone who's in your academic major to make that transition into that coursework a little bit more easy. If we don't have someone that's necessarily in your major, we can find someone in your interest area, have some similar things in common. That program really is introspective, so you're looking at your own personal leadership style, you're looking at what strengths you have that you're going to bring to the table, you're looking at what challenge areas you have, and really developing yourself as a leader. So it's an excellent introduction to student life here on campus. You have the opportunity to network not only with the staff in this office and the students that are involved already, but also with individuals from across campus. So it's a really great first opportunity for you to learn more about involvement here at UMSL. Another program that I do want to highlight in the training programs area is the Women's Leadership Institute and the Leadership and Diversity Institute. Those two workshops are single-day sessions for students who want to learn more about their personal leadership style, but also about career pathways. So the Women's Leadership Institute, which will happen in October this year, is really focusing on individuals that are in the STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We're looking not only at what you can do here on campus to grow your leadership skill set, but also what you may need to know when you enter the career field, how to negotiate a salary, what it looks like to balance personal and professional life, how do you advance yourself within a company. Those sort of things that you don't always learn in the classroom, but you definitely get hinted at as you talk about theory and practice, and we want to put that into play here on campus. So those are some really great opportunities as well within the leadership and training area. Those programs happen throughout the year, so you can find a one-stop shop opportunity, so you can pop in just for one day and hopefully learn as much as you need for that particular time frame, or you can commit to one of our longer-term programs. So really have a little bit of everything for folks who have different schedules, which we understand our students do. Community service and diversity programs is overseen by our assistant directors here in the office, and it covers a pretty wide range of programming and services that we offer. One of the most important things I think to check out initially is our volunteer fair, and we'll go over some important dates a little bit later. That happens early on in the semester. So if you have interest in volunteering both in the St. Louis community, in your community back home if you're commuting in, if you have volunteer interest here on campus, we can connect you with those opportunities and with different nonprofits in the area that are looking for individuals who want to serve as well. We also do service Saturday programming, so those are single-day events that happen once per month. We have a lot of folks that say, I don't know that I can commit to a Big Brothers Big Service or Big Sisters service situation where I'm going to have to commit for 12 months, 18 months. I don't have that kind of time right now, so what can I do? Those single-day events are really great opportunities to find nonprofits in the St. Louis community that are looking for individuals who want to pop in when they have time and can bring others with them. So those are really fantastic opportunities to connect as well. We're launching an alternative spring break program in the spring semester. It'll be our first year doing so. Right now we're trying to narrow down the city we're going to, but it's either going to be Chicago, Atlanta, or Kansas City. So an opportunity to go to a different city in the U.S. and have some time giving back, but also some time to network with other students and connect with your peers. So a really great program there as well. Our diversity programs cover most of our Heritage and History Months. We try to launch those through our office, but those are campus-wide collaborations. So if you have an interest in learning more about your own heritage or just learning about others, those are really excellent opportunities. Hispanic Heritage Month will be the first programming opportunity we have for that, and that starts in September, on September 15th. So there'll be programming happening on campus. And then pretty much throughout the course of the semester, you'll find numerous opportunities to pop in for single programs. Not all of those are hosted through Student Life. Some of those are student organization programs that we help with. Others are departments here on campus that are offering you opportunities to connect with them about a specific topic. So those are really great opportunities to connect in as well. We have a number of diverse student organizations in our office, and so those are also groups that play into those diversity programs and initiatives, and that really depends on what their interest area is at the time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the student organization structure we have on campus. Right now we have 120 student organizations here on campus. That ebbs and flows at any given time. The student organization process is extremely easy, so if there's something that we don't have on campus that you want to see, there's a really simple process to navigate to start that new student organization, and our office and our staff helps you through that process from start to finish. We had 7 student organizations start in the spring 2015 semester, so that number continues to trend upward, which is a great thing. And it gives lots of opportunities for folks to find other individuals in their same interest area, which we think is extremely important, not only that you connect within your academic area, but you also connect socially with other interests that you may have. Triton Sync is a great resource for new students who are coming into the campus, and I hope that if you haven't already gotten a postcard that we can connect you with how to get into that particular system here at the end of the webinar. It is our student organization management system, and it also has connections to all of our student groups. So every student organization we have on campus has a portal. There's a super easy search term opportunity to use, and it can connect you with the president, the vice president, the treasurer of the organization, and also give you information about first meeting dates. We have a lot of students that say, I don't know how to get involved because I don't know how to get connected to a specific student organization. I don't know when they're meeting. I don't know where they meet. Triton Sync really helps us navigate that process and connect you in easily so that you have connections to those folks that you need to find. So we will go over how to get connected to Triton Sync, and if you have an UMSL email address, you're already ready to go. Super easy to do that. We offer a number of trainings throughout the course of the year for student organization leadership, but it's also an opportunity for students who are just interested in becoming involved on campus. So you don't have to be a member of a student organization to participate in our organization training in the fall. We have leadership topics, we have topics on social media usage, marketing, all of those different areas included in that leadership education workshop, but it's definitely something that's open to the entire student body. Definitely consider that if you're interested in becoming involved in a student organization or leading it. And especially for individuals that had experience in a high school organization or in an organization at a community college or other institution, those are really good first introductions to what the student organization structure looks like on campus. A lot of incoming students don't realize that we have fraternity and sorority life here at UMSL, and we do. We have both fraternities and sororities on campus. We have 3 campus-based fraternities, 4 campus-based sororities, and then we do have connections with the citywide NPHC organizations, which are our historically but not exclusively Black fraternities and sororities. So lots of connections and opportunities to get involved in fraternity and sorority life. Recruitment for our sororities begins in the fall semester in September. And we had an earlier webinar that went over a lot of the fraternity and sorority community components, but that is definitely coming up in September. Our fraternities do ongoing recruitment, and they'll be hosting sessions in the fall as well if there's an interest in becoming involved. You'll see on the slide that there's a number of programs that they do here on campus. A lot of those are focused on member development and membership education, which gives our students who are involved in that community really great leadership skill sets and hands-on experience when they start moving into their career path. So lots of really excellent programming that comes from that area as well. But our office can definitely help you get involved and get connected to those groups if you're questioning how that process works. Our most general area is campus-wide programming. We do a number of programs through the Office of Student Life, including our OSL Speaker Series, which is coming up in the fall semester. We have our Student Organization Expo. We'll talk about that date. That is a fantastic chance to learn more about student organizations in a closed environment. So we have an expo that happens in our quad area the first week of school. About 75 organizations are there. Lots of free stuff, which is always a great draw. If you're coming to campus and you're trying to start your t-shirt collection, you're going to do well there. So Student Organization Expo, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Our office is also responsible for the Welcome Picnic, which we hope all of you will consider attending. It's the Sunday before classes start. A great opportunity to meet other students. To have some fun, we'll have putt-putt golf upstairs in the Millennium Student Center. Lots of activities and takeaways from that, and some super secret giveaways, so you'll definitely want to be there for that. That program is a great first introduction to campus and a new way for you to meet other students in a low-pressure environment, which we think is really important. Our office is responsible for homecoming, which is in February. It's tied to our basketball program here at the university, and that program has been going on since the campus opened in 1963. So it's one of our longest giving traditions and something our office is extremely proud to be a part of. One of the other things, and Deontay will talk a little bit about this when she talks about her experience as a student leader, is the University Program Board. So for students who have a general interest in being involved on campus but aren't sure where they want to get involved, UPB is a really great first stop. They do a lot of programming for campus, about 80 programs a year per student. Those programs are all no cost or low cost. Their most expensive, I think, is $10, so you really can't beat the price point on that. But they also have programs that are specific to student interests, and so many different things you can talk about. They've done nutritional programs, they've done laser tag, they do the concerts and the comedians, so any way that you could potentially want to entertain yourself on campus, UPB is probably involved with. So that's a really great opportunity for students who are coming in and they want to find a landing point with student involvement. We also have Mirth Week here on campus, and I mentioned that because it's our largest week of programming here at UMSL that comes through student life. That program is really just a week of joy and festivities and fun, and a great opportunity for student organizations to showcase themselves, but also for students to see a lecture from a current faculty member from our last lecture series, to enjoy our Leadership Awards banquet that really celebrates all the student accomplishments that happen across the course of the year, and for them to just enjoy the final portion of April, beginning of May, right before finals week. So it's a huge celebration on campus, essentially, and a ton of fun, which is always something that we like to promote through student life as well. I did want to mention student employment opportunities, mostly because students who are coming into the campus don't necessarily recognize that as a way that they can be involved on campus. And while there are student organizations, like we've mentioned, and fraternities and sororities and programs to be involved with, student employment is also a really great opportunity as well. We're really excited in our office that we have a progressive program for our student employees, and so we start our student staff as front desk assistants. They are our front line in terms of customer service and helping students and faculty and staff who come into our office. But there's also the opportunity to be moved into a management position. So we do have a front desk manager position that has oversight of all of our student staff, assists with training, helps track hours, does scheduling. So lots of opportunities in terms of developing the skill sets that come into play once you move into whatever career field you're going into. The nice part about that is you're working on campus, so you're already here for classes and you don't have to leave to go to work. You can stay right here on campus. When there's opportunity, if we're not super busy, our front desk assistants can study, which is also a nice benefit as well. And so there's the opportunity to continue to focus on your academic pursuits while working and earning some income, which we know is important to most of our students here on campus. We also have a student graphic assistance position, and that's for students who are involved in our graphic design program. And so that position not only enables them to get hands-on experience with the programs that they'll be using in graphic design, but also lets them build their portfolio. So those positions work specifically with our media producer to put together print materials that are used both on and off campus for any sort of marketing for student organization or office events. So really great employment opportunities. We typically have between 5 and 8 front desk assistants at any given time to help us over the course of the week while we're open, and up to 3 graphic assistants in any given semester as well. So we take a lot of pride in our student employees and think they do a phenomenal job. It is also a great way for you to connect here on campus and learn some leadership skills in the process. I want to make sure that we're not only talking about the programs and services that we offer, but we're letting our students talk about what their experiences look like. So this wonderful group of folks that's with me today is going to talk about a little bit about their leadership experiences here on campus, why they chose to get involved, and then any recommendations they would have for you as students coming to the university. And I'm going to let Cameron start since he's our student body president.
Yes, as Jessica said, I have the pleasure of being student body president. Along with a couple of other things, I am also employed on campus in our brand new Recreation and Wellness Center. I kind of got involved to really be more invested into the campus. As a freshman, I came, really wasn't that involved my first semester, but then I kind of wanted to feel and do a lot more than just my classwork. So I just went for student government, ended up getting elected, and 3 years later I'm sitting here in my position. It's been wonderful, and I've learned a tremendous amount of information along the way. What I've gotten out of it has been priceless. The mentors that I've found along the way, the experiences that I've had talking with different administration has really kind of taught me about what I'm going to actually be doing in a couple of years when I'm out in the real world, trying to have a job and do those types of things. And if it wasn't for this exact experience that I'm having, I don't feel like I'd be as confident as I am now to go and do that. And I also get the pleasure of speaking at each new student orientation, and the advice I give every new student is to at least find something, whether it is work, whether it's research, or different student organization. Just try to get something other than just going to school, because UMSL will mean a lot more to you than just I'm going here for class and then I'm leaving. And it makes you a little more proud of UMSL and where you go to school. So.
Bianca's going to talk about her experience. She's our current marketing chair of the University Program Board.
Well, actually, the way I got involved was 3 years ago, and it was an accident because I had signed up to be on a mailing list, and I thought I was signing up to get invites to events, so I was signed up as a general member. And it was perfect that I got invited to these things because I was a commuter, so really I would go to school and then I would just go home. And then also, since I'm education and I'm in the honors college, I was always on South Campus. And so I didn't really feel connected to North Campus. I would just be over there and only got to know the people on that side of the campus. So being over here, it was great. I come here, I come to the OSL every day, and I get to hang out with my team members, and we start planning all the events for the school year. And it's really, really fun to plan events. We do about 3 or 4 a week, and so it takes a lot of work, but all that work over the years has helped me become a better organizer, a better student, a better planner. It's just helped me in so many ways. And then also, I'm a little bit more shy, and so having to get up and always promote the events and get people to come to the events, and always having to talk to students about the events has really helped me to become a better leader and more extroverted. And it's just been so helpful to have all my advisors and all my teammates and just all the people I've gotten to know on campus. It really helps you get connected. Since everybody's a commuter, you really get to know other people. And that's very important, to have fun on campus and stay engaged and not want to transfer or go somewhere else. You're like, UMSL is the place for me.
Well, Lena Chat. Lena is the Vice President of PRISM, and I'll let her tell you a little bit more about what that is.
PRISM is the Queer Trans Straight Alliance on the UMSL campus, and we have really transformed who we are and what we're about. The whole reason why I joined, I was invited to join by some awesome people, and I wanted to get to know the queer community on campus more. I wanted to find a place for myself, and what was really great about doing that is not only did I find people who were a lot like me and going through the things that I go through every day, I also got to reach out into the St. Louis community as well, and what the queer community is in St. Louis. And I feel like that has been the best part of going to UMSL, is that it helps me branch out, not from who I am right now, but to what I will become later on.
Kristen Weininger is our chair of the UMSL Students of Service, and I'll let her talk to you about her experience.
So when I was a freshman, I was not involved. I was a commuter like Bianca. I just kind of went to school and went home and went to work. And I wasn't really enjoying my experience at UMSL. So I kind of was looking around, and there was a opportunity to get involved in service. And I had done service work in high school, so I figured that'd be a good start. Students of Service is a great way. We have about 5 or 6 service days, and then we have once a month we have a service Saturday, which are about 4 hours long, so they're a great way to get involved if you don't have a lot of time. And then Students of Service also definitely gave me more experiences. One of the greatest things about being involved on campus is when you're involved in one thing that leads to so many other opportunities. It got me involved in emerging leaders, and then I was a mentor and a lot of other resources on campus. So that's my advice to you, whether you're working on campus or doing service one day a month, anything helps, and it will definitely give you a good experience.
And then Asia Slaughter is going to talk about her experience. She is the current president of the Associated Black Collegians.
Hello. As you said, I'm Asia Slaughter, and I'm actually pretty new. I'm still pretty new to UMSL. I just transferred in the spring. And my experience at UMSL has been great so far. UMSL really offers a tremendous amount of opportunities for leadership and to work your way up. Like I said, I was just transferred to UMSL. And as of right now, I'm the president of Associated Black Collegians. So for me to just come and to hold the position that I have now, it's pretty easy to get involved. I started off as a general member, going to all the meetings, and then from there, I just got nominated and I accepted a position. So far, UMSL has been great. Classes have been going great. And as far as like getting involved when I first came, I was a transfer student, and I knew someone who transferred to UMSL from my old university, and he was telling me about the opportunities and how I should get involved, and he kind of pointed me in the direction where it could go, and from there I just took the ball and just ran with it. So I would definitely say get involved in any way you can. As many organizations and programs that UMSL offers, I'm pretty sure there is something that is specifically geared towards you that may interest you. So get involved, like everyone said here. It offers you the skill set that you're going to need once you graduate college. Know how to organize, you want to become the leader, know how to time manage. So I would definitely say encourage to get involved once you come to UMSL, and stay involved, because it's great networking and plenty of opportunities.
I just decided I'm going to pick on our student panel for a second because I could talk about what great programs we have on campus, but it's also nice to have recommendations from individuals that have been here. So if any of you would like to chime in, what is your favorite program at UMSL, and why do you think folks should check it out?
My favorite program at UMSL is Emerging Leaders. It definitely gives you an opportunity to learn about yourself as well as how you interact with others, so in group work and group settings. And then it is also a great outlet to meet your mentors are involved on campus, so it's a great outlet to meet other leaders and different programs.
Let's see, I remember my very first semester here. It was actually the very first event I went to. It was Paint the Palooza by Plixo, which is our honors college association here. And it's essentially like a dry paint war kind of a way. And that's kind of where I kind of met some of actually my best friends now. And it was a social event at the beginning of the year that happens every year. So it was probably my favorite.
My favorite is Mirthly, not only because my organization plans it, but also because there's a carnival and all the organizations come out and they have games, you get a lot of free food. And then also later on in the week, I love music and I love concerts, so we have a concert. And it's just a great way to really get to know people, to have one of your friends, and chill out after a long year of academics and being involved and being super busy.
I got one. Well, I really love the speaker series. Speaker series is really interesting. We had the Vern Cox and Max Brooks come in, and they had some really good speakers. But the very first program that I kind of went to and was involved in was it was for my club. It was Queer Takeover, and we went to the City Museum, and it was just fun because you were surrounded by a whole bunch of people in your community, and you got to climb all over stuff, so can't complain.
So far, I would definitely say one of my favorite programs has been Mercury, because it's kind of like during the spring semester, it's like a relief. You know, you're coming out of spring break, you got to go back to school and get focused back on your classes, so it's like a good break in between. like you said, do the carnival. So it's really fun. It's upbeat. It's a chance for you to get to know other different programs that are in UMSL because they have booths set all up around. So it's really fun. You get a chance to network. So by far, that's been one of my favorite programs.
Hopefully you wrote some things down that you want to check out while you're here. Lots of things coming up in the fall semester, but I definitely want to highlight the benefits of involvement. And I think each of our student panelists have touched on one or more of these pieces, but do want to kind of remind individuals that are considering becoming involved that these are some of the things you can expect. The connection to UMSL, I would say, is invaluable, mostly because there are so many resources here on campus, but it really is on you as a student to find them a lot of times. And so becoming involved helps you find those resources that you might not otherwise know that they exist. Not only do other students that are involved in your organizations or programs connect you to those resources, but you just have the opportunity to collaborate with people in various different departments and academic units on campus, which also helps you find those resources. So if for no other reason, connecting into UMSL is going to help make that time here at the university a lot easier and the process a lot more smooth. It does help you build community. I think Lena touched on that, particularly with her experience on campus and how she got engaged. And I think Cameron did as well with the Student Government Association as well. But you find new friends who have similar interests and passions for the university, for their personal life, for their communities that they're involved in, and it helps you build that connection to one another. So if you're coming to campus and it's your first time in St. Louis or it's your first time living on campus, that's a really great opportunity for you to find individuals that will become friends that you can keep throughout your 4 years here, but then into the rest of your life as well. So those relationships are extremely important as well. I think it helps you discover all of your strengths and your challenge areas, but the strengths I think are the most important. The involvement helps you find out what you do well, and it also helps you identify what you don't like. So if you consider majors, if you're undecided, if you've always thought that you're going to go into medicine, whatever that may look like, once you're here on campus and you're in your classes and you're involved around campus in various different areas, whether that be research or employment, you may identify that things are exactly as you thought they were, and that's a great fit, but you also may identify what doesn't necessarily make sense anymore. As an undergrad, I was a journalism and anthropology major who didn't really know where they were going, and I discovered I loved being an RA. And I love student affairs, and suddenly there's a whole career opportunity that I never knew existed. And so that came through my involvement, and I won't tell you how many years ago that was because I don't want to outlive it. So it is constantly an opportunity to discover what you like and don't like. Being involved on campus will help you succeed while you're here. There is lots of statistical evidence out there. I don't want to bore you with that, but students who are involved do perform better academically and tend to graduate at higher rates. And so being connected to campus, having access to those resources that you didn't know existed, having friends on campus who are in the same courses as you are, who are in the same major as you are, who are studying similar things, all of those help you become successful here at UMSL and will help you graduate and move on to your selected career path. So that involvement really is key to getting there. And that big piece is it helps you build a resume, and I don't like saying resume builder, so it helps you build your resume. We know from talking with our career services department here on campus and from talking to employers that they're looking for well-rounded employees when you graduate. They want to see that you are you possess a degree, and that's fantastic, and you had a great GPA, but they also want to know that you're involved in some capacity on campus. So if that was in research and you were assisting a professor with some of the work that they were doing, if that is you were employed at the front desk in the Recreation and Wellness Center, whatever that may look like, those different pieces that you put together during your time here at UMSL are really going to benefit you once you move into the real world. I don't like to say that because you're in the real world, but that big bad world that exists beyond college is definitely going to be helpful there as well. So while we like to say that it's fun and that it brings you friends and that it's just a fantastic opportunity, at the same time there are some benefits that we like all of our students to consider when they're looking at becoming involved on campus. We want to help you get started, so we're going to give you some upcoming events you definitely need to check out. I mentioned a few of these throughout the course of the webinar. The Welcome Picnic is Sunday, August 23rd. We do hope you'll join us. There's free food, there's free giveaway, there's lots of good stuff going on there. And that immediately follows the Serendipity send-off. So for our students who are new to campus, our incoming freshmen, hopefully you'll attend both of those programs and find that a wonderful first introduction to what campus life looks like here at UMSL. UPB has their first general members meeting that Tuesday, and so you'll get to see Deontay's smiling face if you decide to show up for that program. There's a great opportunity to find out what's going on the rest of the semester, and we certainly hope that you'll show so that you can see what all is happening here on campus, and they will talk about ways that you can become connected to those programs as well, which also means sometimes you get to meet really cool people. So that's a great opportunity as well. The Student Organization Expo, I mentioned that earlier, is the first Wednesday of classes from 11 to 1. It's going to be on North Campus in the quad, which is the area in between the academic buildings. It has carnival tents. You cannot miss it. Lots of noise, lots of free cotton candy, lots of snow cones, lots of student organizations that really hope you want to be a part of what they have to offer here on campus. So if there's nothing else that you check out that week, I really hope you check out the Organization Expo. It is so very, very important to know what is available to you here on campus, and that is a great first snapshot of what that looks like. If you're into volunteering, and I hope you are because you have some wonderful opportunities in the St. Louis area, our volunteer fair is the following day, once again in the carnival tents in the quad, so you won't miss that either. That's nonprofits from the St. Louis community that will be coming in and talking about what they specifically have happening. So if you don't want to join Students of Service necessarily, but you do have an interest in volunteering with Habitat for Humanity or an organization of that nature, then we can connect you in there as well. Cameron and Kristen will be smiling at you from the front of the SGA chambers for the first SGA meeting, which SGA Student Government Association. They're the voice of our students here on campus and make sure that we're advocating for student needs and interests. They also take on some really fun things like scholarship disbursement and all of that, so they're helping you get your money too, which is always nice. They're meeting September 4th, and that happens in the SGA chamber in the Millennium Student Center at 12:30. Meetings are monthly for Student Government Association, but you can always track them down on campus, stop in the Student Life office and visit them. They're here as well. PRISM has their first meeting on Thursday, September 10th at 4 o'clock, so you'll have an opportunity to meet the leadership team for PRISM, talk about their upcoming programs. They're going to be doing some really great discussions across the course of the semester and have some fantastic speakers coming in, so a great way to plug in and talk about upcoming programs and also find out what resources there are in the community for our students who are interested in being allies or who are part of the GLBT or trans communities as well. And then our UMSL Open House is happening on September 16th. We just renovated in the Student Life office, so if you didn't get a chance on your tour to pop in, I hope you will come see us on the 16th. We're going to have lots of free food because we love it too. So that'll be a great chance to get introduced to the staff in our office, all of our different program areas, but also to check out the space. We definitely wanted to make it more student-friendly and to make sure that you have a home here on campus. It may not be the residence hall and it may not be the library for studying, but that you have a place to come in between classes, to have lunch, to talk to your friends, to access a computer, whatever that looks like. So we have lots of comfy couches, a giant picnic table, beanbag chairs if you need a nap, lots of stuff in the office that we hope is going to make your time here at UMSL more comfortable. So hopefully you'll check out one or more of those programs. That is just a small portion of what's happening. We talked about weeks of welcome at most of our orientation sessions, not only through new student programs, but also through the student organizations that you're talking to and the departments you're talking to when you're here. So weeks of welcome is that first 6 weeks of classes. There will be a ton of programming happening, literally hundreds of programs going on across campus those weeks, so please make sure that you're trying to find something that calls to you and that makes you feel like you belong here at campus, because you do, and we want to make sure that you find that. I did want to talk about a few ways you can connect with Student Life. If you are an internet fanatic, obviously we have a website, which is just umsl.edu/studentlife. There's tons of information there about our programs, our services. You can meet our staff. We have our photos there, so you can find out who we are and what we look like, so you can catch us in the hall and surprise us, which is my favorite part, when someone knows who I am and I have not met them yet. But you also get great information about programs that we have coming up, like UMSL Night at the Ballpark, where we have $15 student tickets. That's going to include a ticket to the game, a hot dog and soda voucher, and a free UMSL-themed Cardinals baseball cap. So all sorts of good stuff on that website. We hope you'll check us out there and learn some more if you need to. We're also super active on social media, so if you're a Twitter person, Facebook, Instagram, we're in all three areas. We do offer information about where you can get great free stuff, when you can meet speakers, when there's programs happening on campus. We have Instagram challenges where you can win prizes, so tons of different ways to connect with us on social media depending on where you're at. Look for us this fall on Snapchat if I can figure out how to make it work, which hopefully I can, because we'll be there too. So there's lots of ways that you can find us and connect with us in whatever way makes sense to you and makes you feel the most comfortable. And then I wanted to talk about Triton Sync, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. This really is the gateway to student organizations here on campus. The snapshot you see on the screen right now is what the community looks like once you're logged in using your UMSL username and password. It's really simple to get there. You can go to the Student Life website and click Triton Sync if you'd like to, or you can go to umsl.edu/go/Triton Sync. It'll take you to the landing page, you log in, and then you have the opportunity to browse student organizations, look at the calendar of events that are happening on campus, connect into any of our key resources on that left-hand sidebar. So lots and lots of information there, and I do hope you'll check that out before you get to campus, because it's a really great introduction. It gives you some time to peruse at your own pace, which is nice as well. The search tool in there does allow you to put in keywords. So if you pull a keyword that connects with a student organization or with an event, it's going to drop down anything that matches. So if you put in accounting, it'll pull up Accounting Club, it'll pull up the Accounting Club first meeting, it may pull up any sort of courses that are happening that are on our campus calendar because we've connected with the department. So really great opportunities to get information through that site as well. I want to make sure that if we can answer any of your questions, if you have anything to ask us, we're happy to answer. At this point, you can use that chat function, I believe, and we can answer anything specific. Oh, what do you do if you're interested in being an RA? Fantastic. So Residential Life and Housing has a kind of rolling application process for students who are interested in being resident assistants. It's really based on whether or not they have all their positions filled. At this point, I believe that they are still hiring for the fall semester. They do have some students that didn't return. So there's an opportunity for you to engage with them. If you want to, we can send you contact information, but you can also go to the website, umsl.edu, and under the UMSL Experience, Residential Life and Housing will pop up. If you click on that, it'll take you to information about how you can connect with the staff in the office, and they also have information about their hiring process there as well. So if you're interested in that, that is awesome. So that's how I got my start. It's fantastic. Student Government Association, I'm going to let Cameron and Kristen field this. I do advise that org, which is one of my favorite things to do here on campus, but I'm going to let them talk to you about what SGA does.
Yeah, I'll kind of go first. This is my third year in student government. Yeah, and
we wrote you in.
It's kind of honestly what you decide to do. I mean, we have certain duties that are written in kind of our job description. You know, we're kind of broken up to where we have our president, vice president, comptroller, and then our senators. And each of those individuals have their own separate duties. So, like, for example, I have certain committees that I sit on. I have certain people I talk to. Kristen, she has certain committees she sits on, and it's the same for others. And so what our administration has done is basically we just come up with a bunch of goals that we want to set, what we want to work on for the upcoming year. So, like, for example, we're looking at the financial aid and the scholarship process. We've had some issues in the past with it not being friendly, so we're taking that on, trying to see how that can change, help the students a little more. So it's kind of our goals. We have our monthly meetings, pretty much, where each student organization has a student rep that's recognized on campus, and they have the opportunity to come to voice their concerns. And then basically we have the ability to kind of look into those concerns and see what we think is the best route to go from there. Again, we're not employees of the university technically, so we have the ability to really push individuals and administrators to really see change, and that's something that I really like about student government. So hopefully that kind of answers a little bit of what you're looking at.
Kristen, anything to add?
Well, Kayla pretty much took it. Another thing student government does is allocate money to student organizations. So there's a committee, student activity budget committee, that new students can get involved with as well. We sit on, and then as a committee they decide what money will go to different programs and other such like that.
Since Kristen mentioned Student Activity Budget Committee, I will let you know that there are 5 vacancies right now. So if you have an interest in money and allocating that to student organizations, that would definitely be a place that you could plug in. I think Kristen and Cameron have a tendency to be real humble about what they do as well, but the Recreation and Wellness Center that you see being built on campus, which is going to open next week, which is pretty exciting, that facility is actually directly tied to Student Government Association. They started the Check the Rec campaign a number of years ago to gauge student interest on campus in having a new recreation facility. They engaged students in conversations about what amenities they wanted to see in that building, and the product of that is the Recreation and Wellness Center that we have opening this fall. So lots of really great things that they do that are responsive to student needs here on campus, and also needs that are being brought up to them from other students. So they'll have senators out on campus throughout the semester for kind of an ask a senator or tell a senator day, where you can tell them any issues you may have or ask them any questions you may have as well. So, any other questions? There's a question. Okay, fantastic. I hover over it and sometimes it shows up for me. So, who or what organization chooses what speakers and musicians come to campus? It's a great question. Do you want to field that, Bianca, or do you want me to take it?
I can.
All right, do it.
We do some of the musicians and speakers. Our biggest musician that we do pull in is from Earth Week, which is in April. And it's normally the second to last or last week of April, and we normally get a huge musician that we ask the school about, and we look to see who's touring that time. But speakers, we don't really do huge speakers, but we do speakers for our Lunch and Learn series, and they're the second Tuesday of every month. And we order a big buffet for all the students who come, and we have different lectures about things. Like this year we're having the truth about gluten, and we're having something on superstition, so we do things like that.
In terms of the large-scale speakers and concerts and those sorts of things, sometimes those are products of the Office of Student Life, and sometimes those are collaborations on campus. It just depends, honestly. We do ask students who they want to see, so we'll have conversations with the students that pop into the office. We have surveys after programs where you can offer suggestions for programs you'd like to see on campus, and we take those things into consideration when we plan the next year's programs. So we're in the process of pulling in speakers for our speaker series for the upcoming academic year, and we're just really looking at hot topics for students, speakers that they think would be of interest to them, and also ways that we can connect back to the academic mission here at the institution. So lots of different things in play. Laverne Cox was here last fall. I call that my ungettable get. I was pretty stoked that happened, but we had some conversations with Prism and some students that wanted to talk more about transgender issues and wanted someone that could speak to what that experience looks like. And we had the opportunity to connect with her management and say, hey, we'd love to have you here on campus, and we were lucky enough to to win that one. So Laverne was here. I mean, she was phenomenal. Packed house. I talked about her experience, talked about the experience for a number of individuals in the trans community, and really kind of highlighted some of those key issues that you don't talk about necessarily every single day. So not only was it important because there was a larger conversation, I think, across the country starting about trans issues, but also just important to our students here on campus and in our St. Louis community as well. So we try to be responsive to that through student life. UPB also will bring in individuals that they see at conferences. We have lots of musicians and talent that is interested in connecting with college campuses, and so when they have those opportunities to see those people, they bring that back to the students and get feedback. So connecting in with the University Program Board, connecting in with PRISM, with ABC, with student government actually enables you to provide suggestions, but also to influence those decisions as well. Any other questions we can answer? Okay. Well, we're so glad you joined us. I'm going to turn it back over to Stephanie so that she can give you some information about what's coming up next. But we hope that you'll take the opportunity to get student life when you get here in the fall. And if there's any way that we can be of service, please let us know.
Hi everyone, again, my name is Stephanie Aldana, and on behalf of New Student Programs, I would like to thank Jessica Longpease and the excellent student panel that we were able to hear from today. They did share a lot of wisdom and nuggets of information with you that are very important, so we hope that that has been very helpful to you and that you will take all of those things into consideration as you begin your journey here at UMSL. On behalf of New Student Programs, I would like to thank you for watching. We know that through this you were able to gain a lot of valuable information, and so keep in mind we do have one more web series that will be taking place. This will be Move-In, Arrival, and Survival, taking place next week on July 30th. So keep an eye out for that. That will be about the process of moving in on campus and what that looks like and how to thrive when you are living on campus. This webinar has been pre-recorded, so you will be able to come back to this and refer to this at a later time. So keep an eye out for that on our New Student Programs page. Again, we appreciate your feedback and we want to hear from you. So please take a moment to complete a short survey about your experience. We have the link to the survey provided here. If for whatever reason this does not work for you, you can go ahead and access that as well on the UMSL New Student Programs page. In the same web page where you logged into the webinar today. So please take a moment to do that. Any suggestions that you have, what you thought about this experience, we would love to hear from you. Other than that, we thank you very much for watching, and as always, go Tritons!